When I was a junior here, I started my very first band. I was the lead singer in a metal band, believe it or not. Yeah, so it was just some guys who actually turned out to be really talented, and it was like the first experience I had as far as like being a musician and performing and all of that. So that was what I did from the time I was a junior, senior, and then out of high school, the band we changed. We got a different guitar player, different bass player, but everything else was the same. And yeah, that was kind of like the first little, encounter, and I was like, oh, I love this, and I always knew that I wanted to do it, but that was the first time I'd actually gone out and done it. So I did that for about 4 years, and then, college happened, and the band kind of fizzled out, and I was left sort of like, I don't know how to play an instrument, and I can't write my own music because, that was what they did. So when I was about 20, I picked up the guitar, so just about 4 years ago. I picked up the guitar and just started writing and started learning songs, and through learning lots of songs I was able to write, and then I realized, oh, people will pay you to play music, to play covers and stuff. So then just about a year, 2 years ago, I started playing in coffee shops and bars and things like that, and then I also joined a wedding band, so I sing in weddings, over the summer, and all of a sudden I was making a living as a musician, which a lot of people told me that was not going to happen. So if you get creative, you can. So I do that. I play like 3-hour-long bar gigs and stuff. So basically, there's 3 pieces of advice that I always talk about, and the first one is that sometimes you got to do some stuff that is not so fun, that you don't like to do, that you don't want to do. As much as I love being a musician, as much fun as it is for me, there are times when it is work and it's hard, and you got to suck it up and go to your gig, even when there's 4 people there who don't care that you're there at all. And, you play like you're selling out a stadium because, as a musician, that's what I do, it's what I love. So I owe it to myself to just give the best performance, because even if there are only 4 people there, you never know. One of those people could be somebody very important. You never know. And you owe it to yourself to always put your best foot forward, even when you don't want to, so after the band fizzled out and I started playing gigs, I started writing music, and I stepped into the studio. And the studio is the scariest, hardest, most amazing thing that I've ever done. And, there was a lot of times when I didn't want to. I didn't want to go. I'm tired. I don't want to. I've been working all day. I was working a couple of jobs, and then I'd go to the studio. And it was not always, but when I would get there and I would start working and start writing and see my songs come to life, it totally made it worth it. So, stepping out of your comfort zone and getting uncomfortable, that's where growth happens. That's where change happens. The second piece is prepare. If you are ready, if you're always ready, you never have to get ready. So if you're, prepared, and if somebody called me, right now and said, hey, can you do a gig tomorrow? I'd be like, yeah, I sure can, because I'm ready at all times. With that in mind, after high school, I went to Schoolcraft College for sound engineering. So I got my associate's degree there in recording technology, because when you're 17, 18 years old and you tell people you want to be a musician, of course they ask you, well, what's your plan B? So my plan B was music. So I went to school for music, and I learned how to record and all that, because then I was able to record myself. And then after that, I went to Specs Howard School for broadcasting, and that's when I got an internship and then a job at the radio station that ended up playing my song, where I made a video and it went viral. If you're ready, if you've got, you know, your goals in mind and you have plotted out everything, you know, you won't panic when the time comes. You know, you won't be nervous. You'll be ready because you're like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to do this. You know. And the third piece of advice is be true to yourself. Yes, you've heard it a million times. Yes, it's a bit of a cliche, but it is so important because if you try to fit into a mold that you feel like other people have told you is the way it's, well, that's just how it's supposed to be. But in your heart, in your gut, something's like, no, I don't like that. I don't feel that way. You know, then if you just go with your gut, go with your heart, then you'll be so much happier than trying to do, well, it's supposed to be done this way. I'm supposed to do it that way. You just got to be true to yourself. And regarding music, you know, it's like if you go out there and you try to mimic somebody else or you try to act like somebody else because, you know, that's what's popular, that's what's cool right now, but the only reason you're doing it is because that's what's cool, that's what's popular, and it's not necessarily, you know, what you love, what you're passionate about, then people are going to see right through that, and they're going to, you know, that inauthenticity is going to come across.
Jayme sang first soprano when she was in high school. She was in musical theater. No, she's not doing musical theater now, but she's acting on the stage. If she doesn't feel like it, she's still up there and she's doing, so she's still acting. I have such a cute picture of Jayme standing outside of a cathedral in Italy with an umbrella. Oh. And she sang in all these places that we sang at in Italy on our first choir trip to Italy, and so she had all those stretching times, and then when she told me she was in this metal band as a junior, I thought, of course you are. First soprano in a metal band. And so it's just been fun to see Jayme try all these things, and then as it comes down, she starts focusing and she starts finding like her niche.
Couldn't be perfect and you said it wasn't worth it, then there's nothing left to do.